Duck here with Pastor Troy and the gang. We've got quite a gang in the studio here ready to go. Gotta get all that out here. Oh my, it's hot here. We try not to, again, date our episodes, but it is hot July here. It's very hot. Hopefully... It's so hot, brains don't want to work and function. But you may be watching this as a rerun, best of season or sometime maybe December, and you're just cool. You're like, what are they griping about? But in this studio, it's warm today, and we got the air running hard. You have the air you got down like 66, and it's like no,
it's like 76.
Yeah, it's like 76. The air cannot keep up. We're on the doc.org every Tuesday and Thursday, dropping episodes out of the clouds through the heat, maybe the cold, into your lap. Check those out. We're all about episodes that'll propel your faith out of the shallows and into the deep. And today we're going to definitely propel you out of some shallow. You're going to hear some things today, learn some things that are going to get you out there and make you more effective at being a better witness for Jesus Christ. You're going to learn some things today, and you're going to help be a part of the solution before this day's over. And you're going to get out of the chairs eventually. So we want them in the chairs, Coach. Want them in the chairs with us for the show. Then we're going to fuel them up, and we'll send them out of that pass into the deep waters. And we want them to do like you guys are doing, do those things of God and make a difference in the world. Go to On the Doc. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. Those are primary ways to watch us. YouTube, go to YouTube. Once you get YouTube, hit comments and like and subscribe, because we get points for that and we get stronger algorithms, okay? Spotify and iTunes are also available. Those are audio versions. You can check those out. Check out the description fields for more information on notes and links and other show things that Donna puts in there, that you can find these organizations. You can find their websites and their emails. Go to the description links and do that. Also, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and Getter are our 5 social media partners. So we always having conversation out there about the show, how you can be a part. We'd love to hear your stories. We're going to talk about a lot of things about children today and parenting and what's going on in our region. We'd love to hear your version of that. Some of you are listening from other places. We want to hear, is that your experience? We're going to give you the Southern Illinois experience. We want to know, is that happening in your neck of the woods? Are things the same, or are things a little different? We want to hear that. So let's hear about that through our social media networks. Again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and Getter. When you find us anywhere, especially YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, hit subscribe, like, notify, Rumble as well. Hit the punch button, the like button, the thumbs up button, and make comments. That all helps us. And when you hit subscribe and you are a part of the channel following it, then it notifies you of future episodes as they come in. You would know already this is part 2 of a part 1 because you subscribed in part 1. And you can also go back and look at previous episodes. So we're glad you found us. We're glad you're here today. We're continuing in an incredible series called Taken to the Streets series. Southern Illinois Advanced Gateway to the Hope Foundation is our focus today. And I've got in studio with me as my co-host today, Mother Beth. Mother Beth, how you doing?
Doing great.
We're in part 2.
Yeah.
You've got this room trying to cool down.
I do.
Colt, how are we doing? Colt Krotowski is our tech ninja today.
Doing good today.
Doing good day. Got buzzings. You got rid of some buzzing on this last episode, so I appreciate that. He has swatted flies and bugs in here. We had this weird buzzing in the system, and he was crawling around and pulling wires out of walls. And it's amazing how perfectly good wires that were good a week ago can not work the next week. Isn't that right, Colt?
It is
Tell me
crazy.
about it, man.
We have this thing, this church. We can walk away from the boards in the sanctuary, or walk away, not touch anything, come back in the next week and be chaos. It's like we have like demonic forces come in and mess with our sound system, or the enemy does not want stories like we're going to tell to get out always clean and easy.
Right.
And we know the more challenge we get, it's usually on the Sundays where God's doing something, or in the shows where God's really doing something. And this show is about helping children get hope and to be set free and to let them be all that they can be. And the enemy doesn't want that. So we're going to just pray against that. Father, in the name of Jesus, we bind that in Jesus' name. And we ask for you to loose this show and the vision that Coach has here and his wife has, and just hear this, Lord. We want to see children receive opportunity and hope, Lord, in this region and beyond. We hope that what they share will inspire other people out there to do similar things in their neighborhood. So, Lord, we pray a blessing on this day today, and we just pray, Lord, thank you that you're killing the buzz, and we want you to lift up the name of Jesus, Lord. Help us do that in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. We're blessing it today. That's what we're going to do. I got everybody here. We're ready to go part 2. Part 2 is about the backstory, challenges, and next moves that's been going on. Tell us a little bit, Coach. Coach Greg Porter, Executive Director, Southern Illinois Advanced Gateway to Hope Foundation, and his lovely wife on set, the president of the organization, 501c3, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so when they give to you, it's tax deductible.
Yes.
Just like giving to the church. I like that. So make sure you do that. We'll tell you how to do that in a minute in the show notes. There's a GoFundMe link. There's a web link. She's the president of SI Advanced Gateway to the Hope Foundation. They're here in studio. They got a wealth of experience. Go back and watch part 1. You'll hear more about kind of the basics of the organization. But Coach, just give us again a summary of kind of what you're doing. Maybe I'm gonna let her do it. Jennifer, because we look at this. He always puts himself in front of her. We're gonna neutralize that in this episode. We're gonna hear from the president of the organization. Give me a summary of what you guys are doing right now and how people can be involved and how they can get the kids involved.
Well, we're trying to do our love fest. We out every weekend trying to motivate people to enjoy themselves.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
To give these kids life skills, connecting.
Right.
And you're working in the area of Southern Illinois, based out of the Marion area. And how do people get a hold of you? Let me put the slide up here. Here's the website and Facebook. Tell people how to get connected to maybe your next event or your next activity.
Well, our next event is a Day of Hope. It's
big event.
Yeah, September the 14th from 12 until 7:30.
Well, look, I want to say something to you that this may be one of the first years you are not on our Family Fun Day this year. A lot of years, I know our Family Fun Day has conflicted with your date. Yeah. So I appreciate that in a sense because now people could experience both and not be in conflict. We do this big here in House Hope Family Fun Day, been going on for about 13 years, and it's on the 8th this year. It's always the first Sunday after Labor Day, and we kind of set it so it would be permanent. But you're over in the Marion area, so y'all don't all know that. Although we have a lot more Marion organizations supporting the House of Hope, so you can have an incredible family weekend on the 8th. You can turn around on the 14th. You said
14th.
That's Saturday, correct?
Saturday.
And where will you be holding it?
At Ray Fosse Park.
Ray Fosse Park. Let me get a picture of that park. This is the park out there. Ray Fosse is a fantastic park, and you're going to be out there. You're going to have all kinds of things. Will it be things to eat?
Lots of things.
Things to play in.
Yeah, right.
Music going on.
He gonna be dancing.
Oh, here we go. Here.
He gonna be
You got me cold.
dancing.
Here you go. Dancing
Continues.
coach. Yeah.
Count that's with me.
Look at it. Look at that. He'll be going. He'll be ripping it.
Hope y'all feel the love.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it. Do you have others that come dance with you?
Well, if they want to, I had a clip. I wish you would have.
Oh.
It was some girls, about 5 of them.
Yeah.
And they came up and they said I made their day, but they made my day.
Ooh, you made my mouth. I'm smiling just watching you dance. I can't imagine what does those kids see you dance. And you guys are doing that. So you've got that coming up. That's your next big event. People can kind of follow on Facebook. They can follow on your website, see what's happening next. And let's talk about, again, how people can support it. You can check it out. Southern Advanced Team, Gateway to the Hope Foundation. You can go to GoFundMe. You can find them on there, and there's a note there at the bottom. It's 821C7CEA is the website. You can find that in our show notes. Donna will go check that out. Donna, it's on that slide that we've got there. It's at the bottom of that. We'll have that GoFundMe link in there for you. You can find it that way and go through their website and get that. You can always email them. Let me put their email address up as well, and they'd be glad to talk to you about doing that, give you other ways to give to that, or give you links to that. So you can get a hold of them at SIAdvance_1 at MSN Microsoft. MSN. I got AOL.
I know people laugh at me when I give them.
I do. They go, you still got AOL?
Still got AOL?
Hey, listen, that's where you got the words. You got mail. So yes, I got the original AOL. Like I have others, but I still have my original.
Yeah.
So it's my. I'm not going to tell you my SIadvance_1 at MSN.com. You can get a hold of them. They'd love to meet with you, talk with you. If you're a business leader, organization leader, and you want to partner with them, you've got resources, you've got opportunities, you've got stuff you'd like to share, you'd like to sponsor, you'd like to volunteer. They need people.
need volunteers.
You need people. They need
yeah.
human beings that want to work with other human beings, that especially small ones, to help them be better human beings. So you could make our community better by just coming along and working alongside them. If you've got a service organization, you've got a group of people that would like to do some service, talk to Coach and Jennifer about how your organization can come work with them and do one of these love fests.
Right.
Love fest.
We also need help too for we have give away toys and stuff, donations for toys. We need help for that too.
So let people know.
Donate and all that.
Get with them and find out how you can help them. Now, so you got the Hope Day of Hope coming. All right. So that's September 14th. What's out there beyond that? Do you have just your next one? Do you have other things planned? Is it ongoing? How do people keep up with that?
Well, like I say, with the Love Fest is ongoing.
Always.
That's ongoing always. So they can always sign up for that and
see where the next event's going to be held, what time it's going to be held, where it's going to be held.
What we do once we get them together, then they perform. We'll take them out to studios and things and help them get their careers going.
And then that is your Voices program, right? True
Right.
Voices. So how does somebody get in that side of it and get to experience that?
Just come and sign up.
Come and sign up. And you do
That's
some of those meetings out at Community of Faith still,
Right.
right? So you can find out how you can be a part of the True Voices, and you can use artistic gifts. What are the different art type gifts that people can use and participate? What are the different mediums that you see being used?
Well, mainly mainly they use like to draw and paint. But then you got those that love the artistic part with dance.
Dance.
They can sing,
And then
dance.
singing.
They can sing, they can dance.
They can be a group or they can be individual.
So you can have boys to men. You could have like a
Right.
like a boy band or a girl band.
Yeah.
As long as it's positive stuff.
And reinforces a healthy environment.
Right, and it can inspire someone else, some other child.
You can do that.
You know, that's what the main focus is on.
So find out about True Voices when they're meeting. They're meeting at Community Faith on Thursdays, you said?
That's on
At
Thursday.
what time?
Start at 6:30.
6:30. You can always reach out to them and find out details about that and how you can be a part of that in any time. And then you use some of those talents in your events and your other things. They get a chance to perform. They get a chance to do that.
Hope they'd be able to perform right out there, folks.
There you go.
Yeah,
Man, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Now, I want to take some time. How did you get into helping people? Why?
That's a good question.
Coach, you were coaching basketball. We talked about the AAU basketball.
Right.
And then after the plague hit us and COVID, everybody's lives kind of changing. You've now expanded your Hope plan to beyond sports to all kids. Yeah. So kids have more people have access to you. So what got you into this? Why would you pick kids and
I wouldn't even. That's the worst. It just happened. Honestly, I never dreamed that this be something I'd be doing. Yeah. But once I watched the children, for us trying to make it, and sometimes they get rejected because maybe they're talented enough, but they just don't have the support or the means to do it, or either right now some kids right now find themselves in certain situations where they just don't feel comfortable, or a lot of times they get out just don't get a first chance.
Yeah.
So that's when we started the AAU basketball portion of the program. And I said, well, since I know much about basketball, I'll do this. Didn't think it'd go off the way it did. Didn't think it'd get as big as it did. And because I didn't know much about AAU at that time. So once I'd seen it, the avenue, how can I get the kids to really make it somewhere with scholarships and whatnot, and it gave them more of an incentive, something else. A lot of them, it wasn't even about them going to college. It's about being a part of something that was greater than themselves.
Right.
They felt
lifting up themselves, esteem building, because and that's where that segues into what we want to talk about. You're dealing with kids. You're trying to advance hope,
right?
A gateway to hope, giving them a different perspective.
Right.
A lot of what you're dealing with. Give us a feeling. Give us some examples of the variety of top issues you're dealing with when you're dealing with kids today. Because you that's what you guys have been doing. It's rough. I know.
Well, the top issues is the disrespect.
Just huge.
And the entitlement.
Yeah.
So elaborate on disrespect and then come back to
the disrespect is because the simple reason is I'm thinking that's like right now if we were doing something, they would talk over you.
Right.
They would use vulgarity and no respect for elders. No, they see they don't open the door.
Authority, any kind of elders.
Slam the door in your face.
Yeah.
Stuff.
The teacher
doesn't no regard for life at all.
Right.
It's just like they're null to this.
Is that and that's true for the life of people around them sometimes, and a lot of times even their own lives.
Right. Because they don't care about themselves. Because the thing is, when I have
and that transfers onto everything else, correct?
When you have a child, tell you, like, we was at practice, and the kid comes in and said, well, I'm having a party. I said, well, what about your parents? He said, they don't care. They don't care what I do. And that was a strong statement when he said they do
not care. So what you're saying is hopelessness. It's the opposite of what you're trying to do. You're trying to instill the opposite of what they're lacking. There's a void right now of hope in kids.
Right.
Do you see that greater now, 20 years into this, than you did 20?
It's way worse.
It's way worse. Way worse. Way worse.
And like I said, it starts at home. You know, that's where your environment has a lot of play with.
And part of the parents don't have respect for anything themselves. And then you have to get back to their grandparents before they go like, well, I remember when, and even they have not practiced that. You get grandparents now that aren't even practicing the way they were raised,
right?
Because the world has become. I say this. The world's almost become feral. Everybody for themselves. It's like the Book of Judges.
Look out for
Everybody's going to do what's right in their own eyes, and it's a dog eat dog world right now.
Right.
And kids are being treated like they're supposed to be fully grown, developed people. They're being just thrown to the world, and then these kids come out kind of like messed up. But then you have to remind us that some of these kids, you go like, I don't blame them.
You don't, because once you meet their parents, you're going to forgive those kids.
Yeah.
You realize it's learned behavior.
This is.
They learned it, and that's all they've seen. So you are a lot of times in your program, you're a lot of times giving them the first representation, maybe their classroom, maybe a teacher, maybe somebody else is giving it, but you're giving them an alternative view that they're not getting. That's what Love Fest is.
Right. And
they're not getting it.
That's true.
For us, the hope that you are hope. Not hope that you become better, and realize that you can be, that you are a better person. You're not the person you become.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't born like this. You became this way. Because you watch children put together and how they play and how they act when they're babies, when they're young. Yeah, some of them are a little more active than others.
Right.
But after a while, those learned behaviors start to come out, things they have learned.
Yeah.
And the attitudes come, and wow.
So these things are, they're learned and they're socially developed because of the bad behavior becomes normative behavior.
Yeah.
So we have a bad normal now. Yeah. And so that normal, that's why you're seeing it so much more. It's prolific. So everybody gets that. So you mentioned disrespect. I totally agree. And then entitlement. Usually entitlement means I'm entitled because people respect the work I've put forth. So entitled is earned. When you and I were raised, we earned it. Somebody, when I call you Coach Porte, that's because I know I'm a coach. I coached for years, and I haven't coached football in 10 years now, 15 years, 12 years, and I still have kids call me coach. Right. But I still call coaches that are retired and haven't touched me in 50 years, I still call them coach because of what they spoke into me, out of respect for the number of meals they missed, the things they missed from their family, what they gave to me. They treated me like another son, or maybe somebody else like another daughter. They instilled into me something that helped my dad make me a better man. They helped my family. And back in the day, my dad would say, hey, I want you to play team sports so you can learn from that. And then that coach would add to my, I want to say this in a careful way, my manhood, or if you're a woman, your womanhood. Right. You were trying to build out a better person. Right. And nowadays,
better content of character.
But nowadays team sports are disappearing. Right. Football teams are having a hard time recruiting players in school. Soccer's still popular, but more and more it's hard to get coaches. Coaches don't want to coach. They don't want to put up with the stuff. So sports are getting less and less, and kids are more isolated to their phones, to their Game Boys, to their basement, away from their parents. So there's less role model than ever. And now kids go, you say they're entitled, but they haven't earned anything.
That's what I'm saying. They feel because I'm here, I deserve it.
I showed up.
That's it. I'm here.
Right.
And I say, you haven't earned anything. So like right now, if we go, let's say on my team, I got the most valuable player award.
Yeah.
Okay. Who am I going to give it to? You got to earn it. Not because I'm here. I had a kid ask me, was right. He said, Coach, who's the best on the team? He scored 20-some points. I said, the best at what?
Yeah, what?
At what? Shooting, rebounding.
Yeah, there's other aspects.
What? The best at what? To me, you all the best. So you think because you scored 20-some points that you're the best on the team? How did you get those points?
Right.
Who passed you that ball?
Who defended and recovered it?
That's right. Yeah.
Who's the best defender? Right now, there's a kid. Right now, he's not a good player, but when he's on the floor, he gets every loose ball. And he changed the...
And that gets converted to points.
Right, or by his floor presence, he
disrupts the game.
It changed the whole gameplay.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So who's the best?
Right.
So when you look at people that are entitled, think because I'm here, they don't have to come to practice because I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
here.
on the team.
I showed up. Here I am.
So and it's sad to me when you have events, they think every kid should get something.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe something just to give.
And it's amazing
Right,
that we have a very entitled society, but that society is very disrespectful of titled.
Right. There you go.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like they're disassociated, so they're lacking it because they haven't learned how to earn it.
Right.
And now they want it for free. But the problem is, if you just tell somebody, you're a really good boy, you're a really good girl, and they're not really behaved or they're not, that's not really true.
You got to be honest with them.
You got to be honest with them.
Yeah.
But then they also maybe have never seen what good looks like, so they're coming up with a deficit. So now you have to demonstrate that.
Because they're empty. There's no one there.
Yeah.
I'm picking up for tournaments at 4:00 in the morning, sometimes 3:00. Knock on the door. The kid open. Where's your parents? No one's there.
They're being raised alone, basically.
No one's there. And at the same time, excuse me, a cab pulls up.
Yeah.
Mom gets out. I said, okay, let me speak to you. Your son I don't want to hear, he's not going to be nothing anyway. And she closed the door, went in, came back out, got back in the cabin.
And you don't know this kid that you're picking up. He's probably not had breakfast.
Not at 4:00 in the morning. I know he did.
No, but nobody's packed him a lunch to take with him.
No.
Not like our mamas would have done.
Right,
Didn't give
right.
him
No
nothing.
money. So you got a kid, and you don't know what groceries he's had, whether they even noticed. Maybe they just ate junk food or just whatever they could get. So you got kids that are coming out, and they're already they're already got everything against them
Everything.
before they get started.
Before they get started.
But then they want to be the champion immediately. It's like having like both arms tied behind your back and say, I want to be the shooter, coach. And kids want to succeed, but they don't even have the tools for it. And the thing is, adults who should be providing them the pathway have robbed them.
Rob.
Do you find that most of the kids you're dealing with that it's not all their fault?
It's not.
Kids have some choices in their behavior, but it's learned though.
Yes, learned.
It's learned. It's not all their fault. And the thing about it too, when you watch these kids go through this and you speak to the parents, and some of the parents it's no big deal. They don't even care. And that bothers me more that
The lack of discipline, the lack of understanding even that there's a problem.
and to hear them talk to one another. I mean, that can't be her child. She's talking to him like he's gonna rob and calling him or her either way, everything but his name. He don't even know. I'm surprised he even knows what his name is.
Because of what he's being called.
Right.
What's been and the power as a pastor, somebody's been around a long time, and as a coach, you and I as coaches have the ability to speak life or death into a child.
Right.
You can encourage or discourage. A coach can destroy a child.
Right.
A coach can build up a child. A parent can build up a child or destroy their child.
Right.
And what you're saying is some of these children have been destroyed before you even get a chance to get a look at them.
That's right.
And so when you offer hope, that may be the first glimmer of a love fest that they've seen in a while.
That was.
It may not
because
even be normal.
Teachers at school aren't even allowed to discipline
No, they don't.
keep order, so you're not even getting it there. I think sometimes kids used to get
It's terrible.
built up at school by
And
the
it's worse.
teachers.
It's really, the schools aren't disciplining, parents aren't disciplining because parents aren't there. The schools are just punching a button right now. And now we've got kids in the community. And I say this a lot of times, a lot of kids today are just being raised as lone wolves or in packs with gang wolves, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we want to go, oh, those kids are running together. Those kids are trying to find some sort of family. Or
Right.
don't you agree?
That's what it is.
And that can
That's
be
what it
good
is.
family or bad influence or good influence. But they're being left to that.
Right.
Because a mom doesn't know where they are, dad doesn't know, not involved, not engaged, doesn't know where they are. So in a way, we have a lot of kids today that are being raised like feral kids. They're just
What's that a result of?
what do you think happened?
What do you?
I think it's because, number one, I think when they took mom out the home, she has to work.
You think when everybody's now had the income's so poor today that both husband and wife are having to work to even give the kids a chance to get, because they all need the iPhone 15 and they need everybody wants stuff.
Right.
And cost of living's ridiculous right now.
It is.
No, it's ridiculous right now. What you buy for groceries now,
Right.
what you would spend $100 on 5 years from now would be 5, 6, 7 bags of groceries. Now, one bag of groceries can be over that.
If it's one bag.
If it's one bag,
Yeah.
and that's without protein. You know, you get some, and so people are working to survive, but everybody, it's weird. So as a result, the parents aren't there. They're working 1, 2, 3 jobs sometimes, right?
And you know,
Right.
think about it. Every child, I don't care, you know dad, but you want mom.
Yeah.
Mom, you always want mom.
And kids have moved away from their families to find jobs. People have had to move. Families had to move. So
Right.
grandma's no longer there. Or, you know, they used to have maybe even a bigger supportive family,
Right.
uncle, aunts. And now people have moved around so much and families are so broken, there's not uncles and aunts that you can define, right?
And then again, is even though they're together, nobody has time.
No, they're busy or they're
Everybody-
exhausted from the 3 jobs or they're on their phone.
They're all on their phones
Yeah.
or watching TV.
Because I was
or-
talking to my son the other way because he wants his son. He's kind of mad at him because he's not that good at basketball as he used to be or whatever. You don't have time like I did you guys. It's the difference. You got to put in the time.
Yeah.
I was in the grocery store yesterday, and I wasn't rude to somebody, but I said something to these 2 young people, and we popped in to go get stuff for my grandpa. He's 103 years old. We buy his groceries. We try to get. I can usually get around Kroger Heron in 5 minutes. He eats everything on the outside of the aisle except for the soup aisle and oats. So the only 2 aisles we have to go in is the oats and the soup. Everything else on the outside, right? Fruit, bread. He's 103 because he eats real food on the outside. He eats real egg, real milk, real grapes, real bananas,
Right.
and he likes Campbell's soup. But because he can cook that at 103 himself, and he likes oats. He eats oats every morning, fruit every morning. He's lived a long time doing that.
did.
103,
Wow.
and living on his own still, on his own. Yeah, so I'm in the store and I'm trying to get down this aisle where the lunch, the really good salami. He likes some salami and cheese, and I'm trying to get to this, and 2 people have blocked the aisle. They're young people, and they're both on their phones, and they're just blocking the aisles. And I finally said, "Excuse me, but we came here to shop,"
Right.
and they're on their phones.
Right.
They're blocking the aisle
I understand.
too
They
independently.
need to throw these away.
Yeah, and I'm like, could one of you, excuse me? And finally one said, oh, and he didn't even look at me. Just pulled the cart up a little bit. I slipped by and he pushed it right back. And they went back to their phone. It's almost like they're attached. Yeah. And these
And
are
they might have been texting each other still.
Yeah, right.
Stand up. Did you get the so-and-so?
I know.
But the parent, I'm not blaming, these are younger people, high school age, but the parents are just as bad.
Right.
Yeah.
They're putting their
agree.
makeup on and talking on the phone at the same time in the car.
Yeah.
That's
It's
me.
dangerous driving in the morning. Women put their makeup on and they're on the phone. You hear, yeah, you go, girl. You put the makeup on. Too. It's hard enough to drive. When I was growing up, I'd go to school in Memphis. I'd be going to school at high school, and I'd see the women put makeup on and driving. I think, man, that's tough. Now they on the phone and put their makeup and driving. I don't know what's next. So it is worse. It is a challenge. The attention span is terrible.
Terrible.
No-
Yes.
And that's due to the phone.
and they didn't even notice me.
It
They didn't
is.
know I was behind them, and they didn't even really think about it because they were here. And I
Well,
guess
we got hit. We got rear-ended by a guy driving a semi-truck, and he gets out of his truck holding his laptop. I'm thinking,
he'd been
what
watching.
are you doing
We were in
with a
slow traffic,
laptop
and
and
we're
you're
like,
driving?
we're in a construction zone, and it was so slow the cars had been stopped real slow, and he got watching his movie. And we were between a truck. We were a real low car, we're a sports car. And he says, I didn't see you. I looked up, and all he could see was the back of the other truck. And he forgot we were in the middle and just smashed us. But this is an old man, retired man. But he's like everybody else. He's been reprogrammed that he can watch Netflix in his truck.
That's right.
right.
Yeah. And he lost for a moment where he
He
was.
didn't even know what happened. He got out. So what happened?
I said, you hit
I'm like,
us.
what happened? You hit us.
We've been in between you for 10 minutes.
Didn't ever
We've been in
see
traffic for 10 minutes. No, he said, I forgot. You could just tell he had aphasia. Aphasia is where you lose your presence. Right. Don't you think a lot of people, don't you think these kids, like, they're trying to escape into this device because in that device, whether they're playing it or they're looking at Facebook, they're looking at what somebody's doing, they're at Disney World or they're seeing their friends, they're living through their hope maybe temporarily. They're living through that moment temporarily. Don't you think endorphins are being, psychologically, endorphins are being released?
Yeah.
They feel good hearing, seeing, being stimulated.
I mean, even our granddaughter does it.
It's an escape mechanism.
And she's a good student, and she's in athletics, and she does, she's respectful, but she's still every minute she can, she's right in that phone.
Yes,
I'm gonna stretch this, Coach. Would you consider, Jennifer? Would you consider the possibility that the kids are using the devices, they're using escapes as foxholes today to hide their lives in?
That's part of it. I believe that
to get little maybe mini hope things, and it's not really hope. It's they're living vicariously through other people's moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what you guys are trying to do is get kids to come into a park and interact with other children and adults and live a life beyond a screen.
Yeah,
reality.
Some
I
kids
want to have
don't,
reality.
Yeah, some kids don't even know how to have a conversation.
How to speak to each other. They can text 160 words, but they can't spell.
Right. Yeah.
They don't put thank you in. They put thanks. THX.
What is that?
What is that? You know, they got whole long abbreviations, and I have to sometimes tell my kids, what does all that mean? They well, that's an abbreviation for so and so. I say, I don't know that one.
Right.
Call me. HB something. They've cut happy birthday down to like HB something something something. I'm like, you call me and tell me happy birthday.
Right.
There you go.
We birthed you. We paid your way through college.
I'm
You
the
call me and
person
tell me happy
I
birthday.
love to talk face to face.
I want to hear your voice.
I can like I said, I tolerate the phones.
Yeah.
But I
want to see your face.
I like to talk to you, and when I'm
Hear
doing
your
business,
voice,
I want to, because now I can feel I can feel this.
I can
the
see it.
Right.
That's right.
I can see how you're.
And that's what you guys are doing with these Love Fests. You just want to connect with kids and let them connect with each other in a healthy environment so that they can find out there's not just hope in hiding in that device.
Right.
There's actually hope in life.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ came to give you life abundantly. Right. And somehow they're missing that because they're trying to shelter themselves from what's happening at home. They're not getting encouraged here or there. So they've built this false world, and you're trying to get them to come out of that world and realize there is a life out there. I
always tell them about they living this lie.
Yeah.
We're living this lie through these devices, and we need to walk out into the truth.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
Okay, disrespect, entitlement. If you're going to coach parents, and obviously, what are 2 or 3 things that? Okay, let's just start with this. Parents need to be the parents.
Sure.
That's number one.
And be around. And I know it's tough. I know that you may have to have 2 jobs, and I know that things are tough. But you might have to think about scaling down or backing up. You only get one chance to raise your kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
Beth was able to stay home by the grace of God to raise our kids.
Right.
She's had jobs here and there and jobs on the side or jobs where it would be when I would be able to be home. She made donuts for years at times when she'd be back for the kids had to go to school. So they didn't know where she was. She just did that. But when she was here, she was with them. So we've been blessed in general for Beth to be able to be around their lives. And our kids have come out, well, they're doing well. It's something when you get raised by your parents and then you have healthy grandparents and you're in church occasionally and you got other people that love you and uncles, aunts, and other people. It's amazing how the human being changes, their world perspective changes.
That's true.
You're trying to get kids out of a deficit, the home, the world, and you're trying to get them to experience life. So tell me, what are those 3 or 4 things you'd coach the parents? Parents are listening. Tell me what the parents need to modify. What are those top 3 or 4 things?
First thing, I think the first number 1 thing is to know that your child needs you to actually love them. Not say you love them. I'm talking about love unconditional to the point that agape, godly love, that true love that a mother nurtures supposed to have.
Right.
And the second thing I would always, mothers need to know who they are. Know who they are in Christ, because like I always tell women, the main thing you got to understand, men, we're the image of God. Women are born in the likeness thereof. Mm-hmm. That means God gives life. You carry life in you. Mm-hmm. Men, we can't do that.
No.
So you need to know how important you are, number 1, as a woman and as a mother.
Yeah.
So you carry that life because you got to nurture it. Mm-hmm. See, and then another thing I would always tell them to understand, once you know who you are and whose you are, you got to walk toward that. You got to build a life where you don't. I wouldn't say that you have to be all holier than thou, but you got to understand that God placed you here as a woman that you are.
Right.
You're to realize these things. They're the main things I think they need to understand, and then the time. That unconditional, that true quality of time that a child needs.
Time and attention.
Because you know what? As I grew up being a kid, even we always talk about dad. Yeah, he's the enforcer. He's the provider. He's the security. But mom, I never heard growing up nobody told me, oh, my mama told me this. Every time when I used to go, I don't hardly hear that anymore. That's why I know how things have changed. Mama told me there'd be days like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'd be in the amusement park on the ride.
Kids are left to find out for themselves, and they're not able to maybe develop it or get to where they need to. Right. Maybe they learn the hard part, but they don't learn how you get to the hope part.
Right.
They don't learn how to dig out. They're in the hole, but they don't know how to dig out of the hole. The mom shows them, yeah, you had a bad day, but tomorrow we'll start fresh.
Right.
And tomorrow we'll do this instead. They haven't been given the tools to modify their lives and grow and develop.
And I think the last thing they need to know, that once you have a child, it's not about you anymore. It's about that child. It ain't about you anymore.
That's right.
That's the main thing they need to really understand, that once you do it, it's not about you. Everything about you is on deferment.
Yeah. I think I won't speak for Beth. I'll let her give her own testimony here. But the one thing I can tell you about my wife is, you know, I received when we met and that she had a daughter already, and so I adopted her daughter, and she became my firstborn child. My firstborn child. I received her as that, and Heather's a special person. And I'm afraid Heather knew we were going to get married before Beth did, because I asked Heather, "Is it okay if I marry your mom? And would you want to be a part of my family?" And so I spent 2 years with Heather. I decided when we got married that she should get the time in the womb and that year of time, and we kind of said we're going to wait 2 years before we have any other kids, because I want her to have that time with me to establish that relationship. And the one thing Beth did well with her, really, really, really well with her, was she always told her God would provide, dad someday. And so she wasn't opposed to that. So it gave a good opportunity. But what I really like is my wife, we didn't know each other, but we both had pretty party backgrounds. And what I like is, I probably did things I shouldn't have done, and it took me a long time to get corrected. But when she got pregnant, it changed her life. She had been, while I kept partying in different parts of the world, she spent the next 5 years being a mom and telling her that God's going to make a different way. It changed you a lot, didn't it?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it totally changed.
You didn't sacrifice your child to keep your party life.
No.
You shut down your life.
That was the end of
to
it
be a
right
mom.
there.
That's it.
Yeah.
So God, I screwed my own self up here, but I'm not
going to screw up her life.
I'm not screwing up her life.
Yeah.
So when I got to Heather, she had been like a field prepared to have a family.
Right. Okay.
It was in her mind that Mom's already spoken that we're going to do that. Mom had talked about, things are rough here, but God's going to take us to this next level. And then we became a family. I mean, it was our daughter, Heather, that finally, after about a year and a half of us spending that quality time in those 5, she's 6, 7, like, when am I going to get a brother and sister? Mm-hmm. She was getting like enough of this, you know what I mean? So she wasn't being neglected. She was being moved forward. So you lay this out that a child needs you. They need agape. They need a mother. You're not saying they don't need a dad. We're not saying that dads are needed, but the mom needs to be there to nurture there and to realize, moms, you're a vessel of sacred worth. You are valued by God. Live like that and demonstrate that. And then time and attention. They need your time and attention. You mentioned that. And then to make that definition that it's not about you.
Right.
You're now diverting your energies there. And that is, as you said, Jennifer, that's tough today, because the income of today is, how do we survive?
It's true.
That's true.
We can't keep up with the Joneses.
It's our society.
We won't have everybody can't have their own private cell phone. And you may have, I would tell you right now, sacrifice some of that stuff. Sacrifice the club.
I'm glad you brought that up.
We've gone through times where we ate rice and beans and rice.
We have a food when I was in seminary and going through college and stuff. all our kids will tell you that we love the days when Dad made glop. We call it glop. So I'd go to the store in Georgia and I'd get the pig parts, the root and the tooth ends.
Or we had the freezer.
The hog jaw or the freezer.
From my dad's
We'd go to
farm.
their hog farm, and we'd get in the freezer at the end of the season, and there would be like the pig backs, the pig necks, the pig feet, the pig calves, the hocks. And then I would make beans, or I would make cabbage and beans, and we would have rice and beans. And it got to be, the kids understood. We just ate a lot of that. And nowadays they go like, man, we'd like to have some glop. I'm saying, dude, we had glop because we couldn't afford anything else back in the day, and so, but that's what it took. And in exchange for us doing that, they got a mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they got a dad that was out there and working, and I wasn't there as much as I'd like to have been, but a parent was there.
Right.
We think about that, and that's what I was explaining to them. That we go back for Christ. We had all the crusades, and where were all the men during that time? Out crusading, or hunting, or out to war, dying by the thousands.
That's been normative for most of society.
So who took care of the children?
And there's a time when the sons and the moms
and the grandmas,
and that has worked for a long time. And and dad needs to be an influence, and dad should be an influence. And when they're home, they need to spend time with their kids.
Right.
Yes, they
That's
do.
it.
But right now we're in a society where, I don't want to get too much deeper in this, but I do want to talk about, you said disrespect, entitlement, but I want to add one problem I see as a pastor today, as a coach, and my experience with kids, is there is just total confusion on identity today.
Yep.
Because people can't even say I'm a little boy or a little girl anymore. They want to say I'm a teapot, I'm a furry, or there's some other one of these other things, pronouns, and I'm like, no, God made you a little boy or a little girl, and He'll make you a grown man of that. Now you can deny all that, and you can put all this other dressing on, pierce yourself, do all the things you want to, by change your hair color and call yourself this, split your tongue, cut your ears off. I see people doing all kinds of things to themselves, and a lot of people are trying to redefine themselves. So I just want to be seen. I just want something for myself. It's just another way of going into that phone and trying to hide.
Yep.
But God created you special, just the way you are. You are unique, just the way you are.
They don't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of confusion in our society to the point that they think, well, dads are rotten. Women don't. I can be a woman if I want to be a woman. No, you can't.
I put it like this: Satan is the master of confusion.
He is confused.
Once he gets you to believe, it becomes your reality.
He is confused, and every kid's looking for, well, I want to be this instead. This will be better, and then they find out it doesn't work.
And they live a lie.
They live a lie, and it's just empty.
It's empty.
It's surface. It's just as much as if you just pick up the phone and watched another show, or made another clip, or did another thing. It's
you don't
not
love
real.
yourself enough to be who you truly are. And see, that's where the nurturing. They don't know the love who they are, because, like I said, they're young, and they don't have the guidance and that model, that role model.
And our society has now affirmed it. What used to be abnormal, we're now saying, oh, you can be anything. You do call yourself this today, call yourself that tomorrow. We'll go along with your world. And that is allowing kids to repress things they need to be dealing with and healing through. Right. And now they're thinking they're more bad has become normal, and now abnormal is becoming normal.
Right.
And when you get to that extent, then you have problems with people doing violent and bad things to people. You have the mass shootings, and you have we didn't name a mass shooting when we were kids.
I can hardly name anymore.
You had somebody assassinated, maybe somebody killed, but name a time when you remember a 12, 13-year-old walking in a school and shooting everybody. And let me just say to you, every kid I knew in 6th grade and on had their shotgun, and we all hunted together. We hunted where I grew up in Southeast Missouri. We went home from school, Colt. Colt's our young guy in the room. How old are you now, Colt? You just had your birthday.
I'm 23 now.
All right. Well, when we were like 13, 12, we all got our guns. Right. Dads gave us our guns. We shot skeet. We would come home from 7th grade, all of us get off the bus, walk in the house, get our 20 gauges, without adult supervision, head out into the fields and go hunt dove and squirrel for the next 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
We had shotguns on
your truck.
16. I carried my shotgun on my truck and on my rack, loaded.
And you could go to school that way and park.
I parked it at school loaded. Nobody killed anybody in any of my schools. We all had access to
the
guns.
worst we had was like fake bomb threats that kids called
we
in
would
so we
pull
could get out of
fire
school.
drill. We faked some stuff, but it was just so we could get out of school.
This bad grade.
Greg didn't study for the test. Let's pull the fire alarm. You know, we help you out, Greg. Tomorrow we come up with something else. Right. It was kind. I want to say it was harmless, but now kids are so repressed that they don't think their life's worth living. You have, I'm going to date us again. The president,
or that they think they'll be famous, that they'll go down in flames.
The young man that shot at the president on Saturday was 20-year-old loner boy. They said he was bullied in school. He was a loner, and we don't even know all the details. All we know is that
he was a good student. He was smart.
They said he was science. He had a science award, math awards. Very smart, but a loner. And he's a little bit like that kid that you talked about, did everything for everybody, and then they took advantage of him. You know, they said he was a loner, and this boy at 20 years old comes into the field, climbs up with a rifle, and takes 8 shots in the crowd, kills 1 man, injures 2 more, and came within an inch of killing our 45th president. Right. You know, and then a sniper in 20 seconds ended his life. There's a picture of his brain splattered all across the roof right now. It's all over the internet.
Right.
That is the sum total of his 20-year life. And I just think that is incredibly sad.
Oh, yeah.
That he thought that was life. And I want to say, we can blame him all we want, but behind that was a community.
Yeah.
Behind that was parents.
He was failed.
Behind that were friends. And this kid in a feral environment, listen, there are snipers on the roof. He knew what there were snipers on the roof. Everybody knows there are. He knew when he pulled that trigger, he was a dead man.
Yeah, he knew it. He knew that.
But his life had no value.
Right.
Yeah.
You're dealing with that every day.
Every day.
And you're trying to intercept that with Illinois Advanced Gateway to Hope, right?
Right.
You're trying to show kids that there's something beyond the phone, beyond the home, beyond that mother that walks past them that doesn't care.
It's a better quality of life.
That if you can just look up and hang on, we're going to give you a little love fest and let you know there's a different way.
That's right.
And some of these kids that you're going out to the park with and you're dancing with, they're going to raise their kids differently.
I pray they do.
There's going to be a seed planted in the next generation.
I pray that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what you've said, disrespect, entitlement, and confusion today.
Right.
And all of those things is the devil's work because he had no respect for the Lord. He tried to take a position that wasn't his and got dethroned. And he is the author of confusion because he can't create anything.
That's true.
And it's in those things that he is weaving his craft.
Right.
And you think the key is that parents get back to a traditional role. I know we're being old school, where the dad's working and providing a good job and the mom can stay home. And if she can't stay home, you got to figure out how to mitigate that as much as you can and get that as minimal as you can and think about what you can do without. Everybody doesn't have to have a cell phone when they're 8 years old.
That's
right.
I texted my granddaughter the other day. It was her birthday too, Colt. So I texted her a video, but I texted to her mom. She's 14. So I texted to her mom because, like, in my mind, 14-year-old don't need no phone. So I sent to her mom, will you show Addison? And her mom writes back to me, she's got her own phone. Do you want some old man texting her? I know I'm a grandpa, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want people texting my child or my grandchild. Maybe we need to hold some of that back a little bit more, and maybe they need to see our face.
Thank you.
And tell them we love them and happy birthday. And, maybe we can't be there, but we can. The one thing about technology is we can use technology for good.
FaceTime.
Right.
Your
FaceTime.
Right.
That's right. And we did that later in the night with her.
Yeah,
You know,
FaceTime,
yeah, we FaceTimed her a little bit later, and we embarrassed her because she was with some other people, and we're doing all our stuff. Our girl, she's like, "I'm with people. Can you call back?" You know? Grandpa's doing his full mercy.
It's good to embarrass them. I like that.
To embarrass your children in a positive way is trust me, memorable experience.
Right.
We need to spend time with our kids to the point that we get to know them and love them again. So you're all about Love Fest.
That's it.
Again. siadvance1colony.com. Check their website out. Email them at siadvance_1 at msn.com. Find Southern Advanced Gateway to the Hope Foundation on Facebook. Get connected to what Greg and Jennifer are doing. It's amazing what you're doing.
Come and feel the love.
Come feel the love. Get out there. Look for their next event. If you're a business organization, a church, or whatever, look at how you could support them. Check out the GoFundMe link. We'll put it in this episode description. And go to you can find that. There's a flyer like this on their Facebook page. Go find that flyer, and it will show you the GoFundMe link at the bottom. And I just want to say you guys are doing great work. These guys honored me. I want to say this. They came and brought an incredible plaque to me. Matter of fact, I've got it right here, Coach. I haven't put it up yet. I got to get it up right here, guys. They brought this and honored me. I don't know why in the world you'd come and honor me. You guys need to be honored.
Well, the thing is, it's honored you because the thing is the community faith does for the community and the world. You guys are reaching out to so many hearts and souls and
Thank you.
Bringing them to Christ that, hey, you deserve it.
You notice in this episode, he's up front again, right? But I stayed back with her. I stayed back. I stayed back with Mama. I stayed back with Mama. Yeah. There he is. But I want to appreciate you guys, and you guys are just lifting up hope in this region. And thank you for what you do. I know over the 20 years you guys have been doing this, it's tireless. In a sense, you get exhausted and you get ups and downs, but I want you to know you're making a difference. You've encouraged us. People have been encouraged today. I think the best thing you've done for parents is I hope parents out there will rethink their family formula of figuring out how to keep mom home as much as possible and get mom in that position. And then you're going to have to get creative and do that. We got to reclaim the home.
Step up a little bit more.
Dad's going to step up. Maybe he has to work a little harder.
You got to let mom be mom. He got to.
Hey, the greatest generation sent all the men off to war, and then they became the greatest generation.
Right.
We can do that. That's been the way it's been for a long time.
Right.
We just got to get back to healthy boundaries and healthy role models, and we can see a change. We can see hope advanced. You guys can do that, right? Thank you so much. Please check out their ministry. We're so glad to have you guys with us. It's been an honor to have you here, and we honor and we respect you guys. Mother Beth,
Amen.
It's been a good episode.
It's been
great. Colt, what do you think?
I really appreciate you guys.
This was a blast.
It's been a blast. I think some good comments there to really help us with. Go to info@onthedoc.org for more email and questions about our episode. And you can go to onthedoc.org to find all of our stuff about this episode. Go back and watch part 1. Go back and find other shows that we spotlight this season. We've done about 7 or 8 spotlights this season and other great shows. Check those out. You can watch season 1 and season 2. Go to YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. And please find us on our primary channels there. We'd love to have you watch us, especially on YouTube. When you find us there, hit subscribe, like, make comments, share that with others. And you can do the same thing with Spotify and iTunes as well. Those are audio versions, but YouTube is our best. Rumble's also another good way to look at us there, but wherever you find us, make sure you connect with us so you can see what's coming next. And we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. Maybe you've got something you want to speak to parents. You'd like to share your point to help parents and moms out. Maybe you're a mom out there and you're a single mom and you've figured out how to be there and work. We'd love to hear how you do that and how you balance that time out. And we know sometimes you just, like Beth was a single mom before we married and stuff. We just know sometimes there's just not enough time and you lose yourself and you give up yourself.
Yep.
And in due season, what you sow, you will reap. And if you didn't sacrifice your kids, you may find out that the kids won't be what you hoped.
Yeah.
So, but if you sacrifice now, you may find out that your children and your grandchildren and your grandchildren, your great grandchildren are so much better for what you did now.
They're an investment.
Yeah, they're an investment. It's a good investment.
Yes.
So check that out. We'd love to hear your stories through the social media channels and all those things. And again, we'd love to have you. Go to Patreon and be a partner or sponsor of the show. You can download us on the doc when you find the Patreon app and find out different ways to partner and sponsor with the show. We'd love to have you. And go to SLNT. We're going to run that commercial at the end of this episode. You can find out more about their products or go to our landing page, slnt.com/discount/OTD. Find out about their Fair Day products to protect your privacy through your phone, through your fob, through your credit cards that have the frequency stuff on them, through your laptops, how you can travel and protect your electronics and keep your privacy yours. Check that out in this episode. We'd love to have you at Community Faith Church at COFTV.com. You can find out the time, 10 o'clock on Sundays, 6:30 on Wednesdays. You can also watch episodes and videos and find out more about us, but we need to see that you get in a Bible-believing church so you can be raised in the admonition of the Lord. Get out there and serve the Lord and realize you are something special. That agape coach talked about comes from learning about a God who loves you unconditionally, and he teaches us how to go out and love others unconditionally, and we learn how to sacrifice it. Remember, he asked Peter, do you love me? Peter said, yeah, I love you like a brother. Peter, do you love me? Yeah, I love you like a brother. And the Lord asked him a third time, Peter, do you love me? And Peter said, yes, Lord, I agape you. He finally understood, then feed my sheep, because it's going to be a sacrifice. Right. And we know that Peter, who had run away, ends up dying on a cross himself. Yeah. In the end, he got it. You lay down your life because it's a gift you give. Yeah. And when you lay down your life for a brother or sister, the Lord watches and he gives you something better, abundance of kingdom life. Yeah. So your sacrifice doesn't go unnoticed, moms, dads, family out there. Let's help out. Let's get out there and help Southern Illinois Advance, Gateway to Hope Foundation, help them do some great things ahead. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's been a blessing, and get out there. When you see the show, please go share it with other people. I'm Pastor Troy with Mother Beth and Colt. We've been on the dock with you. And as we leave this episode, I'm going to run with this commercial. Check it out from SLNT. We'll see you soon. I'm Pastor Troy again, and you've been on the dock.
There are more than 8 billion phones in the world, a fact that threatens your privacy, security, and health. With Silent Pocket Faraday protection, you can regain control over your mobile devices. We get it. Privacy and security are inconvenient topics, and you may feel like you have nothing to hide, but the fact is that in the modern world, your laptop is never really off. Your phone emits a signal, even in airplane mode. And everything from your passport to your credit cards contains RFID, and all of it contains valuable private information that is easily exploited in the wrong hands. Silent Pocket offers a range of products you already use: wallets, bags, travel gear, laptop sleeves, key cases, but with the added protection of our patented Faraday technology, which turns your devices invisible and safe from the outside world. Many industries, from top business professionals to government officials, require the use of Faraday products for the day-to-day security of them and their staff. They understand that we are constantly at risk and take the necessary steps to prevent future attacks. We offer this elite technology to anyone that values their personal data, and we are proud to offer a premium range that fits seamlessly into your everyday life, providing security without looking like a tinfoil hat. As we learn to live with technology, Silent Pocket stands on the 3 pillars of privacy, security, and health. Our goal is to provide harmony with mobile technology without risking our most valuable information. We hope you'll trust us to help you do the same.